Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to LA Noire. So I did a little bit of looking up at the DLC pack that comes on Steam with this game, and it turns out that two of the missions that we did in Traffic actually are DLC. So the slip of the tongue, the case about the guy printing out fake pink slips, and the consulate's car, the case where the car was owned by a Venezuelan consulate. Both of those missions weren't in the original game, which kind of explains why they didn't seem that familiar to me, because I didn't have the DLC originally playing the game. And it also kind of explains why it felt longer than it should have been. Because clearly they had cut the main game.
The way. You can drive.
They'd cut the main game to the right
I don't think
length.
Jacob is our man, but we should see what he has to say.
Jacob Henry had a violent argument with his wife last night. It's looking more and more likely.
For my money, the broad keep the house looking like that, she probably deserved it. The skipper says bring him in. Keep the hatch on her back for a while.
Fine by me.
So it ain't the werewolf killer after all. Good to see you come to your senses, Cole.
I always said work the evidence. I only stipulated a connection to the BD killer as an avenue of investigation we should leave open. And as far as I'm concerned, it still is.
So now Cole thinks it's the husband, although our partner seems to not have a big problem with the husband punching the wife. So we got a gun drawn and we're walking in here, which probably means we're just going into an action sequence.
You Jacob Henry?
Yeah. Who's asking?
LAPD. You're under arrest for the murder of your wife, Celine Henry.
Murder? Celine?
Save the dramatics
Oh, my
for
God.
RKO, pal. You got bigger problems.
What the hell are you talking about? You come in here, you tell me that Celine is...
Take a seat, Mr. Henry.
she's-
We're gonna have a look around, then we'll talk.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
And see, this is actually terrible police work. You don't divulge information at all. What you do is you get them talking,
I get even
and they're more likely to talk or give you information or get painted into a lie themselves if this is a stupid thing. Wow.
I think the atmosphere is thick in here.
Thanks for the offer. I need you to do something about my wife. Interesting.
He'll be back in.
So it seems like he may have had something to do with killing his wife
The
after
oldest
all.
problem there is what to do about the old lady.
Here we have a baseball bat, and we know it's blunt trauma. But here's the problem. While that could have been good evidence, we saw a cutscene of who the murderer was, and he didn't really look like this guy, and we saw him use a crowbar to beat her to death. So unless we're going to believe in unreliable narration in our cutscenes...
Size 11s.
See, and if we go back to our location, let's see, clues. The shoe prints were size 8s. So unless he's wearing several sizes over his regular shoes, which isn't a terrible thought in the 40s and 50s as a way to throw off the police, but they'll catch on to that rather quickly, I would think. This whole hallway is empty. Looking at the DLC bundle, by the way, the 12 silver badges are just more collectibles that have been added that will unlock a new suit. In fact, a couple of the suits I already have, like the sharpshooter and I think maybe the Golden Boy suit were also part of the DLC. So you're getting extra things in the game, but hoops. It seems ridiculous. So he's just moving out? Is that the idea? Like he's just taking everything and filing for a divorce? Like why would you move out if you planned on murdering your wife? It seems redundant. But maybe he murdered her in a fit of rage, or hired somebody in a fit of rage. So, let's ask about the movements of the victim.
So who could have killed Celine? Where did she go last night, Jacob?
A bar, I suppose. Look, I don't know.
That's bull. We know that's not true because what's his name called him his alibis. So we'll call him out on that.
You know where she went, Jacob. You're lying. Why would I help you if you keep lying to me?
Look, I'm telling you, I don't know.
So then your alibi is falling apart. Then the other guy. We can check with the phone reports, you would hope. Or the operators might remember.
We know she went to the Bomber Club.
The bartender there. He calls me if things are getting out of hand, and I go and I bring her home. He called me last night. I said no.
But it wasn't the bartender, was
I rang
it?
a couple more times after that.
It was the
I ignored it.
owner. They're not even keeping
I'll have to live
things
with
straight.
that.
Each one of these lines of conversation are separated, so he may act very differently now on this next line of conversation.
When did you last see your wife, Mr. Henry?
Cole seems to act differently
Last
every
night.
now and then.
I went to see her. We talked. Things got a little out of hand. I left.
Now, I think I could probably see use the marital problems to say he's lying about that too.
That's a lie and you know it. You tailed her, watched her come out of a bar, and then beat her to death. Admit it, Henry.
Why would I do that, detective?
That's the prompt? Really?
My wife was
Cole didn't
drunk.
even say anything
There's a
there.
sickness with her. Doesn't mean I didn't love her. Would you stop loving your wife if she was unwell?
No, I wouldn't.
And so that was wrong. There's just no joy in this game playing this way. Just being told you're wrong the whole time. Like, it's such a black and white mentality for telling stories that aren't completely black and white.
Why did you kill her, Jacob? Things will go better if you come clean about it.
That's a lousy thing to say. I never gave up on my wife.
Then the death threat notes, I will say.
I don't believe you, Jacob. I think you didn't have the guts to do it yourself, so you had someone else do it.
You want to back that up with something, Big Mouth?
See,
Huh?
so it's the things that Cole says often that are prompting the picking of the clue.
The note by the phone suggests you meant her harm.
You want the truth? Truth is, I was sick to death of her. I was trying to have her committed.
We're still gonna need you to come downtown, Mr. Henry.
We can get this all down on paper, Jacob. How you got fed up with your wife and how you figured killing her would bury all your troubles.
Kill my own wife?
She was a lush and a tramp, and you just couldn't stand it anymore.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
So now you're gonna tell me you loved her? Ah, the DA goes all gooey over remorse, Jacob.
Not
So-
being.
Let's see if we can keep our hat on and get that achievement. And we're finally brawling again. This is not really a good system. But then again, the shooting is not a very good system either. Like, the buttons aren't responsive enough. Kept my hat on.
Call it in and get a squad car dispatched. And check for messages. I'll keep old Slugger here company.
That's probably not appropriate at all. Because leaving this guy alone in a room heavily allows for this guy to abuse this guy while he's handcuffed. So Cole should be the one, honestly, to stay. Or they
Operator,
should
give
just
me
bring them
dispatch.
both to the telephone.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need a patrol unit to transport a suspect back to Central.
Certainly, Detective. You have a message from the coroner. Do you wish to be put through?
Yes, ma'am.
Carruthers,
It's Phelps.
I've completed the autopsy. Several wounds to the head from a
There
blunt
was
metal
no
instrument.
rings there.
Closest match would be a socket wrench handle.
So the cause of death was the blunt.
No, the blows to the head surprisingly were not fatal. Death was from hemorrhage and shock from the fractured ribs and multiple injuries caused by the stomping.
Anything else?
He's some kind of sex fiend. The tissues of the anus were bruised about 1/8 of an inch, but no trace of semen in the anus, vagina, or stomach.
Thank you, game.
Thanks, Doc. Operator, give me R&I. Any word on an owner for that vehicle? License was 2boy8899.
Yes, Detective. The plate belongs to a brown 1936 Pontiac. Registered owner is one Alonzo Mendez of 402 South Fremont Street, apartment 16.
Thanks.
Now the camera
Any other
has been
messages?
slowly
One, Detective.
converting.
From Captain Donnelly. He wants any and all suspects returned to Central. Interviews to be set up immediately.
Got it. We're coming in.
So this is ridiculous. We just got a new person of interest, and the captain is telling us to go to Central instead. That seems crazy. Might as well see if this is a different car. So look on the map here. We'll take this street crime, and we'll have you drive.
Can you drive to this one?
Just take a different car. I assume the car that I was supposed to take was a police car, but getting a lot of achievements here. You're gonna get a decent amount of them, but unlike Xbox or even the way PlayStation's trophies work now, Steam is very much 100% or nothing. So you don't get any score or anything. They stopped
That alleyway
shooting.
leads to the rear of the building, sir. Someone's gonna have to climb up and take him down.
Good luck. Don't let him get a beat on you like I did.
So there we go.
Killers are the worst kind of stuff.
You see, that's a bad attitude for any police officer to say that police are supposed to have special privilege or special consideration. And that's exactly what they're saying is like, we don't care if you're killing regular people as much.
Won't help console the officer's family, but these guys are done.
Wow. And I could barely hear him over the breathing of the fact that I got shot, and I shot that guy when he was behind the building. So the targeting and the hitboxes on the bullets are incredibly large. It's ridiculous. Let's see. And so, like, right now in the 40s and the 50s, it's all about patriotism. It's all about America, and eventually, while it never really is truly believed or acted on, it is supposed to be about everybody being the same. But here you have the police saying, no, we're better. Our lives are worth more than the lives of other people.
You drive.
There's the
I need to go over
Paramount,
the case notes.
which means like probably could run over there and find some collectible.
Carruthers said she took a real pounding.
Maybe if he had been a little firmer in the beginning, he wouldn't be in this situation now.
I imagine that Neanderthal routine is a big hit with the ladies, Galloway.
Women love me, Phelps. I have no complexity. They know exactly what they're gonna get.
That picture that it shows in the loading screen is the Chinese theater, and that's recently been purchased by a up-and-coming TV seller in the United States. I forgot their name. I just heard about them like a couple weeks ago, and they put some
Mendez,
nice
Apartment 16.
nice new and improved projection setups in there for 4K and IMAX and all of that. I don't know exactly what they did, but it's still going to be called the Chinese Theater.
Here, the apartment's up on the top floor.
So we've found 2 clues that helps us get to the apartment. As if your score is going to lower if you don't immediately go to the right door. I might be wearing a suit that stops. Let's see, can I check what outfit I'm wearing? Hit harder and take more punches before going down, the Broderick. Shoot straighter and with the Garand and the Colt 45. So it seems like these suits actually change your abilities, which this game desperately doesn't need that. Last thing it needs is for the guns to be harder to aim with. So top floor. Clearly you have some video game design where this is lit up and everything else was dark.
Take a look around and see what you can find.
See, that seems strange to just kick in the door. It's kind of strange to just listen to him without questioning. It's like, why would I do that? Why would I kick in the door and then potentially have a case for an illegal search?
Not much help.
Like, unlawful entry. Or let's say the guy is in his apartment and he has a gun. You kick the door in, he has a better argument to shoot at you now because he thinks you're robbing his apartment.
Nothing significant.
So finding matches that happen to be the same brand as matches we've seen before doesn't really mean anything. Interesting.
Optimistic, Cole.
So a gun is not important. And then we see some bloody rags. Size 8 shoes.
Size 8s could help place Mendez at the scene.
So it does look like Mendez. Mendez was the murderer. Yeah, we've got a bloody crowbar. A wrench.
Consistent with Celine's injuries, and the blood can be typed.
So they can match blood types.
Brothers could match the color and brand of the body.
And here's the lipstick. All smashed.
We have the murder weapon. We better get Pinker down here.
Why keep it? Why not throw it away?
Think these clowns are geniuses? Thank your stars you caught a break. Captain Donald will begin to like you.
Hey! What gives? LAPD, you're under arrest.
Do not lose that son of a bitch. I'll go get our wheels.
So
right there.
I think if this guy takes a hostage at the end of this chase, which
You don't need to do this,
it would be
Alonzo.
nice if we could jump, have some superhuman powers. We can make a decent jump there.
Get in and drive.
Now I'm hitting X trying to see if he would shoot at him.
Cole, spit him out.
And it's not doing that. And this is certainly tighter roads than I would like.
I got an idea. Get him next to my window, Cole. Keep me alongside his vehicle, and I'll stop this son of a bitch.
Where is he? I totally missed that.
God damn it, get after him, Cole.
So look at that trash
Hit
car.
him, Cole. Spit him out.
We kind of know where he's going.
I got an idea. Get him next to my window, Cole. Keep me alongside his vehicle, and I'll stop this son of a bitch.
And I guess
Hit him. Clean this asshole off the road.
we couldn't have done this up to this point.
Don't go to sleep on me. Get me back in close.
I'm going
I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck.
as fast as possible. And I'm trying to give him a better lined up shot.
Phelps, you gotta get me closer.
You're under arrest for the murder of Celine Henry.
Like,
Show me your hands!
I can't believe this is happening.
and then there's just people in the background astonished.
I ain't saying a goddamn thing.
So they kind of needed that cutscene to to have one guy not commit to talking,
You
I
did
guess.
a grand job, lads. Phelps, that's quite a way to acquit yourself in your first outing as a homicide investigator. It seems the city has a new and vengeful guardian. Considering the evidence against your suspect and the thoroughness with which a report was compiled, I foresee a safe passage through the courts, and the DA agrees with me. Brutality on a scale such as this deserves retribution. The people and the press of this city demand it.
And Cole doesn't get a drink. So, did some vehicle damage. And I guess I got a 4-star rating there. It's so ridiculous that that's how it's rating me, is with just a stamp in the top right, and it's not even making a big deal about it. Like, I've been seeing the stamps, and I don't even know what rating I have been getting. Let's see, case notes. The suspect is in the bag, even if you did leave Jacob sweating in central lockup. Which is, I guess, the thing here could have been, I could have gone and interrogated Jacob at central lockup and get another piece of evidence, maybe? So, the Black Dahlia case didn't really have anything to do with the Black Dahlia case. But I think it's gonna get mentioned at least again. And now has Cole just become a frequent visitor of this establishment? Remember, Cole is married. That was one little tidbit that was thrown out there. And so he has really no reason to be out alone at a bar. Oddly, I'm not sure we ever see his wife in the game. And this is just like the same case as before. And frankly, at this rate, it's getting a little repetitive having women be murdered.
Got it, Skipper. Yeah, I'll bring him. He's my partner, after all.
It's like, couldn't they have thrown something in there?
New case. White female dumped in plain sight in the grass at the end of Hill Street. Hacks are all over it. Captain's trying to fend them off.
That sounds awfully similar.
The first rule of police work is make no assumptions until you've seen the evidence. Skipper wants you to have your newspaper face on, college boy. I think I know the place where they found the lady. It overlooks Sunset Boulevard. Let's go.
I want to make homicide. You know you made it.
It's so annoying to walk down these stairs each time.
Goddamn captain's making me resubmit paperwork.
They could have just done like the rest of the game and had us start a case in the car, and when you make it to the car, you have it just called in, and then you are the first on scene. I know probably that's not the way it would actually work as detectives, but let's face it, how are you adding anything to the game by making us start at the police station?
You're behind the wheel.
Not really adding anything to it. Let's take another one of these side missions.
This is car 11K. We'll handle the 211.
Roger that, 11K. Your 211 is at 391 Broadway, Mallory's Cafe. 11K, handle code 3.
So,
go to hell, Parker.
No way I'm going down without a...
Clearly these named fights were going to
Drop the
be
weapon, hands behind your head. Yeah?
too late for that. Too late for that.
He's hiding in the alley. Give it up.
So I'm gonna try and chase this one, but all lights it should be. I should just shoot him.
Don't make me chase you.
You don't get anything for chasing them.
How long are you gonna keep this up?
I'm gonna have to leave this as just speculation, but it feels like there was two separate teams that clearly wanted different things in this game. One team that wanted more running and shooting and just... Alright, well this isn't gonna work, so we'll just shoot them. They wanted more of this, or they at least planned for more of this. And then there was the main team that wanted the story and the investigation and the questioning.
Roger, 11K. All units, 211 from Mallory's Cafe is code 4. Repeat, code 4.
I think what the problem here comes from is just bad planning on the part of the makers of the game. This facial scan experiment should clearly have been in a much smaller, independent, like little game, an A-tier game, not a AA, not a AAA game. This is an attempt to make a AAA game.
You can drive. Fine. Where are we headed?
To the crime scene. This time, for example, probably
Did a decent job in the Henry case, Phelps. Not bad for your first time at bat.
the best example is a game called Her Story,
That's one clearance
where
under your belt.
you
Now
see.
it's a new day with a new dead lady that needs our attention.
Let's let these guys talk first.
Right? Right. See, I knew you were a fast learner, Phelps. We might get along after all.
There's Nixon running for president. The game Her Story has actual video of an actual actress, and you can watch her face and see if you think she's lying or not while you're interviewing her or seeing tapes of her being interviewed.
I have two of my finest
And
investigators on the
it's a rather short game, actually kind of longer than you would
Are there
think.
similarities between this murder and the murder of Celine
And
Henry?
that's where this technology, the lie to doubt the truth, and the facial scanning should have been tested out on. Not a huge AAA title like this.
How can any killer continue to be that? Be advised. We keep the gas chamber at San Quentin primed for the sons of Cain who continue to believe they can take a life in the city of angels.
Yeah, right. Any new leads in the Dahlia case?
Run along, boys, and let these officers get to work. We have God's work to do here, and it can't be delayed.
What do we have, Captain?
Another woman sacrificed. Speak to Carruthers. I want daily reports, gentlemen.
Daily reports? Have we ever done a case that even took more than a day?
This is awful. Awful. Why can't we get any
Detective,
That
I was first on scene.
that element is, I guess, part of what they're cutting and editing out, is the idea that all these cases are mostly being solved in one group of a few hours. But yeah.
You find her, Gonzalez?
Not me. Family out for a stroll. I was first reporting.
Can you show me the body?
It's under the pepper tree, this way.
Is it gonna be naked again? So the Black Dahlia case gets mentioned again.
Phelps.
she is.
Seriously? It is naked again.
The stomping angle in the Henry case, was it reported in the press?
Sure was. Every detail a copycat would want was there in the story.
So we're certainly having that problem of things getting reported and then copycats appearing.
If the motive was robbery, why not take the money?
$5 is a lot of money. And again, this is probably not what $5 looked like in the 40s or 50s. I think they dropped the ball on that.
Well, we have a name. Can you run Deirdre Muller by RNI?
Back in a second.
Research and investigation. They didn't ever tell us what these things meant. You know, unless it's just like hidden somewhere under a help. Yeah, it's totally missing. Like, there's no glossary, there's no here's what this meant, here's what that meant. What's funny is I can hear the police talking to the lady on the phone, and the person on the phone is echoing loud enough that I can hear her.
It would take a smarter man than me to connect that.
Like, the audio is totally messed up there.
Probably nothing.
Like, that's crazy. That entire phone call was totally audible. And see, he just picked up an item, looked at it. I'm just gonna pick up an item.
Here is going to be relevant.
So we're back to
Similar remote.
To what? The Dahlia? I don't think so.
Celine Henry.
That's a closed case. This is probably another sad sack who lost his temper with a broad who wouldn't put out.
Are you a suspect, Rusty?
Watch your mouth, Phelps. All I'm saying is we got enough to do without reopening closed cases.
Talk me through it, Mal.
Severely battered, on display. Footprints would indicate that she has been stomped. Size of the footprints would seem to indicate a smallish men's shoe. What size shoe did Mendez wear?
You finished?
No, I'm not. At a glance, I would say strangulation was the cause of death. I'll need to do further tests for semen.
Angry boyfriend. If they were married, they'd be at home. Not humping out here in Lover's Lane.
You mind if I examine the body?
Be my guest.
So I've got to investigate the body, and I don't know why he stands over the bodies when he investigates them. I guess that's just the typical thing.
Cut on a finger.
Fourth finger, left hand. A wedding or engagement ring. Violently removed.
And again, I'll have to censor this.
Looks like she was tied up.
It does at first, but that would leave a mark on her other wrist, too. I think her watch might have been torn off.
You can see your own wedding ring on your hand. But you could tie somebody up and chain them up in different ways.
Look at your mark. It's very
Instinctive. I'll do some comparisons back at the lab and get back to you.
That is a really thick rope. That's like a really thick marine rope or something.
Another day, another dollar.
And again, the facial scan technology that's on this does not really match the rest of the game. And again, I don't know why you would... Like, there was nothing to even do there. I'd zoom in and zoom out, and that's it.
Detectives, RNI says that Deirdre Mahler of 130 North Bonnie Bray was reported missing this morning by her husband, Hugo Mahler.
He's just walking over the evidence.
Let's grab the husband, take him downtown, and work him over. We can have this wrapped up by lunchtime.
What about not making assumptions and going on the evidence?
What about not getting the camera in front of some very polygony, low polygon trees? It's funny as they look good enough from this distance, but when the camera got too close, everything fell apart. Let's see, is there somebody else to question or talk to?
All these people are vultures, officer. But you can tell me what's going on.
So what's going on over there?
And see, I'm not supposed to use the phone right now. And I think we've gotten all these cars before. It's odd to have the cases so back to back. Really, really odd. And see, this is something that I would argue, having not even played the new Hitman, I would argue that this is something that they worked on real hard, a lot to fix. And by just having some simplistic things in between to break things up. They should honestly make me do about 3 to 5 street crimes in between each story mission. Not that that's really going to solve the problem of this game, because the story missions still kind of play badly, and the shooting missions don't play that well either.
Any central unit, car 16 Adam reports a possible jumper at 8th and Hope. The Methodist Church unit to handle code 2 identify.
So possible jumper.
Go ahead.
Somebody finally we might not shoot.
Adam, possible jumper at 8th and Hope, First Methodist Church, code 2.
I'll do it! So help me God, I'll jump!
You need to get up there.
Let me do the talking, Detective. I know a ton of this psychology stuff. You take the back alley and find a way up there.
Come on, Phelps, let's get moving.
So we're trying to reach the rooftop.
Make sure you warn me before you do.
I will! Wait, what?
Oops, I guess I was supposed to maybe jump up this. Nope. Where am I supposed to go? Like, where's my partner?
No offense, but I don't want you splashed on my shoes.
Are you crazy? What are you trying to do?
Listen to the psychology they're doing here.
Could have soaked them up with a sponge. I still can't eat spaghetti sauce.
Shut up, all right? I know what you're trying to do. It won't work.
And there's our partner just out of breath. It's nice to have a mission where you don't end up shooting people.
This what you wanted?
I can't do it. I'll come quietly. I need some help. Please. You gotta get me some help.
Here's the danger. He's gonna pull the coal right off the edge, too.
You're a danger to yourself and to others.
Now you get to a bigger question, and it's really kind of a moral and ethical debate. It's like, do you, as a human being, do you have a just general right to be a danger to yourself? Like, sure, maybe you could argue that he was being a danger to others because he might land on somebody, but in all realisticness, not really. We're going to have to approach and rethink that question a lot as the human population becomes more and more, as resources become less and less. the value of a human life is going to have to be reevaluated. There's some nice stained glasses. It's kind of a shame you can't get into this church. Like, if this was an Assassin's Creed game, I would go in here and find a Templar treasure or something and climb all around and do all kinds of parkour. But since that's not this game, we now, I guess, look at the map and just kind of confirm that there is no crime going on, which is pretty obvious that there wouldn't be.
You know the way. You can drive.
So we'll just move on with the main case.
There still might be some playing the boyfriend.
I thought we were on our way to lock up the husband.
If it doesn't work out, that is.
Deirdre Muller has suffered enough. More than enough. You shouldn't make disparaging comments about her without even the slightest inkling of what she was like.
She was a woman, wasn't she? Around about my third divorce, I realized women might not be the pure angels we imagine. You're married, ain't you, Phelps?
Don't make any insinuations about my wife.
Hey, she's a woman.
She's the mother of my children.
He has children?
Cool. But don't tell me your eye don't get it.
This conversation is over.
So we're getting all these little background things, but Cole really is just a wet noodle of a character. Of course, when you're playing as a character, you generally don't want too much backstory, or you want a lot of backstory. Like, wow, look at a cheap mailbox that is. You either want somebody that you really love as a character, or you want somebody who has who's a completely blank slate, so you can customize it and play it as your own person. See, there she is just reading, and there's nothing else. Let's see. So let's look at our statistics here. We've done 8 of 21 story cases, and street crimes now 12 of 40. So we're probably gonna get most of those done. 5 of 30 landmarks discovered, which means we probably will get most of those found too. They don't show up on the map as far as I can tell. 24 of the 95 vehicles found, so we may not make full progress there. We're ranked 12 of 20, so we'll probably make it to the maximum there. Found 97 clues, spent almost 50 minutes investigating, which in an odd way, how's that average out? If we've spent about 50 minutes and done 8, you're talking somewhere between 2 or 3 minutes per case of investigating, and the rest is all just cutscenes and talking and driving and brawling and shooting. It's so small. It's odd to even call the investigating a major part of the game, even though it is. Brawling. We did probably get that achievement for not losing our hat. Gunfighting. Let's see, we got a 56.9% accuracy, which is probably pretty low for a police officer. And then the shields now we know are collectibles that we probably won't find. And game time. Oh, I didn't even realize that there was a game time. So we're 8 hours, 7 minutes, and 37 seconds in the gameplay, according to that. And boy, does it feel like it's been a lot longer. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.